Hello everyone, this is class 8 geography chapter 2 land, soil, water, natural vegetation and wildlife resources. In a very small village in Tanzania, Africa, Mamba gets up very early in the morning to fetch water. He has to walk a long way and returns after a few hours. He then helps her mother in the house and joins her brothers in taking care of the goats. All her family owns a piece of rocky land around their small hut. Mamba's father can barely grow some maize and beans on it after toiling hard. This is not enough to feed their family for the whole year. Peter lives in the heart of the sheep rearing region in the New Zealand where his family runs a wool processing factory. Every day when he returns from school, Peter watches his uncle taking care of their sheep. Their sheep yard is situated on a wide grassy plain with hills and far distance. It is managed in a specific area using the latest technology. Peter's family also grows vegetable through organic farming. Mamba and Peter stay in two different parts of the world and lead a very different life. The difference in because of the difference in the quality of the land, the soil, water, natural vegetation, animals, and the uses of technology. The availability of such resources is the main reason places is differ from each other. 98% of the world population occupies only 30% area of the land area. The remaining 70% of the land is either sparsely populated or inhabited. 90% of the population, 30% of land, other land is sparsely populated or uninhabited. Land is among the most important natural resources. It covers only about 30% of the total area of the earth's surface, and all parts of this small percentage are not habitable. The uneven distribution of population in different parts of the world is mainly due to the very characteristic of the land as well as the climate. The rugged topography, steep slopes of the mountain, low-lying areas susceptible to waterlogging, desert areas, thick forested areas are normally sparsely populated or uninhabited. Plains and the river valley offer suitable land for plain area and river valley, and these are the densely populated areas of the world. Land is used for different purposes such as agriculture, forestry, mining, building houses, roads, and setting up industries. This is commonly termed as land use. Can you list the different ways in which Mambas and Peter family use their land? The use of land is determined by physical factors जैसे वहाँ की topography क्या है, soil क्या है, climate, वहाँ के minerals क्या है, availability of water. Human factors such as the population, technology are also important guide for determinants of the land use pattern. Land can also be classified on the basis of the ownership, जैसे private land है या community land है. Private land is owned by individual, whereas community land is owned by the community for common uses like a collection of fodder, food, net for medicinal herb. These community lands are called common property resources. People and their demands are ever growing, but the availability of land is limited. The quality of land also differ from place to place. People started encroaching the common land and to build up commercial areas, housing complexes in the urban areas to expand the agricultural land in the rural areas. Today, the vast changes in the land use pattern also reflect the cultural change in our society. Land degradation, landslides, soil erosion, desertification, they all are the major threats to the environment because of the expansion of agriculture and construction activities. People and their demand are ever growing, but the availability of land is limited. The quality of land also differs from place to place. People started encroaching the common land to build commercial areas, housing complexes in the urban areas, and expand agriculture in the rural areas. Today, the vast changes in the land use pattern also reflect the cultural change in our society. Land degradation, landslide, soil erosion, desertification are the major threat to the environment because of the expansion of agriculture and the construction activity. Land degradation हो जाता है, landslide हो जाती है, desertification है, soil erosion है. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the changes in land use over time. Weathering is the breaking up and decay of the exposed soil by temperature change, frost action, plant and animal and plants, animal and human activity. Growing conservation of land resource, growing population and the ever-growing demand has led to a large-scale destruction of forest cover land. Arable land has created a fear of losing this natural resource. Therefore, at present rate of degradation of land must be checked. Afforestation, land reclamation, regulatory use of chemical pesticide and fertilizer, and checks on the overgrazing are some of the common methods used to conserve the land resources. Soil, the thin layer of the grainy substance covering the surface of the earth is called soil. It is closely linked to land, and the landform determines the type of the soil. The thin layer of grainy substance covering the surface of the earth. The thin layer of grainy substance covering the surface of the earth is called soil. It is closely linked to the land, and landform determines the type of the soil. Soil is made up of organic matter, minerals, and the weathered rock. Soil कैसे बना होता है? Organic matter, minerals, and weathered rock found on the earth. This happens through the process of weathering. The right mix of minerals and the organic matter make the soil fertile. The thin layer of grainy substance covering the surface of the earth is called soil. It is closely linked to land. Landform determines the type of soil. Soil is made up of organic matter, mineral, weathered rock found on the earth. This happens through the process of weathering. The right mix of the minerals and the organic matter make the soil. Minerals and organic matter. Landslides are simply defined as the mass movement of the rock, debris, or earth down a slope. They often take place in conjunction with earthquake, flood, and volcanoes. A prolonged spell of rainfall can cause heavy landslide that can block the flow of river for quite some time. The formation of river blocks can cause havoc to the settlement downstream on its bursting. In the hilly terrain, landslide have been a major and widely spread natural disaster that often strike life and property and occupy a position of major concern. Massive landslide in Pangi village near Rekongpiu in Kannauр district of Himachal Pradesh and damaged the 200-meter stretch of Old Hindustan Tibet Road, National Highway 22. This landslide was triggered by intense blasting at Pangi village. Due to the blasting, this weak zone of slope collapsed and caused intense damage to the road and nearby villages. The Pangi village was completely vacated to avoid any possible loss of life. Mitigation mechanism. Advancement in scientific technique has empowered us to understand what factors cause landslide and how to manage them. Some broad mitigation technique of landslide are as follows. Hazard mapping to locate areas which are prone to landslide, hence such areas can be avoided for building settlement. Construction of retention wall to stop land from slipping. Increase in the vegetation cover to arrest the landslide. The surface drainage control works to control the movement of landslide along with rainwater and spring flows. Next is topsoil with humus and vegetation, subsoil with sand, silt and clay, weathered rock material, parent rock. It takes hundreds of years to make just 1 centimeter of soil. Factors of soil formation. The major factors of soil formation are the nature of the parent rock and the climatic factor. Other factors are the topography. Parent rock के साथ है the climatic factor. Other factors are the topography, role of organic material and time taken for the composition of soil formation. All these differ from place to place. Other factors are the topography, role of organic material and time taken. Topography, role of organic material and the time taken for the composition of soil formation. All they differ from place to place. Parent rock. Determine the color, texture, chemical properties. Color क्या है? Texture, chemical properties, mineral content, permeability. Temperature, rainfall, rate of weather and humus formation. Time, determine thickness of soil profile, flora, fauna and microorganism affect the rate of humus formation. Flora, fauna and microorganism. Relief, altitude and slope determine the accumulation of soil. Which are the factors which affect the soil formation? Parent rock क्या था, वहाँ का climate कैसा है, टाइम कितना लग रहा है, फ्लोरा फॉना माइक्रोऑर्गेनिज्म क्या थे, रिलीफ कैसा है. 5 factors. Degradation of soil and conservation measures. Soil erosion and depletion are the major threat to soil as a resource. क्या है? Soil erosion and depletion. What are the major threat to soil as a resource? Soil erosion and depletion. Major threat to soil as a resource. Soil erosion हो रहा है, depletion. Both human and the natural factor can lead to the degradation of soil. Factors which lead to soil degradation are deforestation, overgrazing, overuse of chemical fertilizer or pesticide, rainfalls, landslide and flood. Lead to soil degradation, deforestation, overgrazing, overuse of chemical fertilizer or pesticide, rain wash, landslide and flood. Some methods of soil conservation are listed below. Mulching. The bare ground between the plant is covered with a layer of organic matter like straw. It helps to retain soil moisture. Contour barrier. The bare ground between plant is covered with a layer of organic matter like straw. It helps to the bare ground between plant. Mulching. Bare ground between plant is covered with a layer of organic like straw. It helps to retain soil moisture. This is called mulching. Contour barriers, stone, grass, soil are used to build barriers along contour. Trenches are made in front of the barriers to collect the water. Rock dam. Rocks are this is terraforming. This is contour barrier. Stone, grass, soil are used to build barrier. Rocks are piled up to slow down the flow of water. This prevents the gullies and further soil loss. Gullies and soil loss. Terrace farming. Broad, flat steps or terraces are made on the steep slope so that the flat surface are available to grow crop. This reduces the surface runoff and soil erosion. Intercropping. Different crops are grown in alternate rows and are sown at different times to protect the soil from rain wash. Contour ploughing. Ploughing parallel to the contours of a hill slope. हिल का स्लोप ऐसा है parallel to the contours of a hill slope to form a natural barrier for water to flow down the slope. Shelter belt. In the coastal and the dry region, rows of trees are planted to check the wind movement to protect the soil cover. Okay. Water is a a vital renewable natural resource. 3/4 of the Earth's surface covered with water. It is therefore appropriately called the water planet. It was in primitive ocean that life began almost 3.5 billion years back. Even today, the ocean covers 2/3 of the Earth's surface and supports a rich variety of plant and animal life. The ocean water is, however, saline and not to fit for human consumption. Freshwater accounts for only 2.7%. Nearly 70% of this occurs as ice sheet and glacier in Antarctica, Greenland mountain region. Due to their location, they are inaccessible. Only 1% of the freshwater is available and fit for human use. 1%. It is found as a groundwater, as surface water in rivers and lakes, and as water vapor in the atmosphere. In 1975, the consumption of water for human use was 3850 cubic a kilometer cube per year. It soared to more than 6,000 kilometer cube per year in 2000. A dripping tap faced 1,200 liters of water in a year. Fresh water is therefore the most precious substances on earth. Water can neither be added nor subtracted from the earth. Its total volume remains constant. Its abundance only seems to vary because it is in constant motion. Fresh water is therefore the most precious substance on earth. Water can neither be added nor subtracted from the earth. Its total volume remains constant. Water can neither be added nor subtracted. Its total volume remains constant. Its abundance only seems to vary because it is in constant motion, cycling through the ocean, the air, the land, and back again through the process of evaporation, precipitation, and runoff. This is already known. This you already know is referred to as the water cycle. Humans use huge amount of water not only for the drinking and washing but also in the process of production. Water for agriculture, industry, generating electricity through reservoirs or dams are the other uses. Increasing population, rising demand for food and cash crop, increasing urbanization, and rising standard of living are the major factors leading to shortages in the supply of fresh water, either due to drying up of water resource or water pollution. Problems of water availability. There is a scarcity of water in many regions of the world. Most of the Africa, West Asia, South Asia, part of the western USA, northwest Mexico, and parts of the South America and entire Australia facing shortages in fresh water supply. Countries located in climatic zone most susceptible to drought face great problems of water scarcity. Thus, water shortages may be a consequence of variation in the seasonal or annual precipitation, or the scarcity is caused by over exploitation or contamination of water resource. Have you ever heard about Amreli, a city in Saurashtra region with a population of 1.25 that is completely dependent on purchasing water from the nearby talukas? Conservation of water resources. Access to clean as well as adequate water source is a major problem facing the water. Steps have to be taken to conserve this dwindling resource. Even though water is a renewable resource, its overuse and pollution make it unfit for use. Discharge of unpurified or partially treated sewage, agricultural chemical, industrial effluent in water bodies are major contaminant. They pollute the water with nitrate, metals, and pesticide. River Yamuna is getting polluted due to the sewage, industrial effluent, and the garbage. Nitrates, metal, and pesticide. Most of these chemicals are non-biodegradable and reach human bodies through water. Water pollution can be controlled by treating these effluents suitably before releasing them into water bodies. Forests and other vegetation covers lower the surface runoff and replenish underground water. Water harvesting another method to save surface runoff. The canal used for irrigation fields should be properly lined to minimize losses by water seepage. Sprinklers effectively irrigate the area by checking water losses through seepage and evaporation. In dry region with high rate of evaporation, drip or trickle irrigation is very useful. The valuable water resource can therefore be conserved by adopting these means of irrigation. Rainwater harvesting. The process of collecting rainwater from the rooftop and directing into appropriate location where it is stored for the future use. On an average, one spell of rain for 2 hours is enough for to save 8,000 liters of water. One spell of rain for 2 hours. Natural vegetation and wildlife. Some school children were visiting an exhibition on handicraft. The articles in the exhibition were collected from different parts of the country. Mona picked up a bag and exclaimed, "This is a beautiful handbag. It is made from jute." The teacher said, "Do you see those basket, lampshade, and chair? They are made up of canes and bamboos. In the eastern and the northeastern humid regions of India, bamboo grows in plenty." Jessie was excited to see a silk scarf. "See this beautiful scarf," the teacher explained, that the silk is obtained from a silkworm that are bred on the mulberry trees. The children understand that plants provide us with many different products that we use in our daily life. Natural vegetation and wildlife exists only in the narrow zone of the contact between the lithosphere, hydrosphere, and atmosphere we call biosphere. In the biosphere, living beings are interrelated and interdependent on each other for survival. This life supporting system is known as ecosystem. Vegetation and wildlife are very valuable resources. Plants provide us with timber, give shelter to animals, produce oxygen we breathe, protect soil. Timber, shelter, produce oxygen we breathe, protect soils. So essential for growing crop, act as a shelter belt, help in storage of underground water, give us fruit, nut, latex, turpentine, oil, gum, medicinal plant, and also the paper that is so essential for your studies. There are innumerable use of the plants, and you can add some more. Wildlife includes animal, bird, insect, as well as the aquatic life form. They provide us milk, meat, hide, and wool. Insect like bee provide us honey, help in pollination of flowers, and have important role to play as decomposers in the ecosystem. The bird feed on the insect and act as a decomposer as well. Vultures in the Indian subcontinent were dying of kidney failure shortly after scavenging livestock treated with diclofenac was a painkiller that is similar to aspirin or ibuprofen. Efforts are on to ban the drug for livestock use and breed vultures in captivity. This is Brahma Kamal, a medicinal herb. Brahma Kamal. Okay, the birds feed on the insect and act. The birds feed on insect and act as a decomposers as well. Vulture, due to its ability to feed on dead livestock, is a scavenger and considered as a vital cleanser of the environment. So animals, big or small, all are integral to maintain the balance in the ecosystem. This is a blue kingfisher. Distribution of natural vegetation. The growth of the vegetation depends primarily on the temperature and the moisture. The major vegetation type of the world are the group plus forest, grass and scrubs, and tundra. In areas of heavy rainfall, huge trees may thrive. The forests are thus situated within areas having abundant water supply. The amount of the moisture decreases the size of the trees and the density. It reduces short stunted trees, and the grasses grow in the regions of moderate rainfall, forming the grasslands of the world. The thorny shrubs and scrubs grow in dry areas of low rainfall. In such areas, plants have deep root and leaves with thorny and the waxy surface due to the loss of moisture through transpiration. Tundra vegetation of the cold or polar region comprises of moisture and lichen. Today, there are many more people in the world than there were 2 centuries back. To feed the growing number, large areas of forest have been cleared to grow crop. Forest cover all over the world is vanishing rapidly. There is an urgent need to conserve this valuable resource. Conservation of natural vegetation and wildlife. Forests are our wealth. Plant gives shelter to the animals, and forests are our wealth. Plant gives shelter to the animals, and together they maintain the ecosystem. Change of climate and the human interference can cause the loss of the natural habitat for the plant and animal. Many species have become vulnerable or endangered, and some are on the verge of extinction. Deforestation, soil erosion, construction activities, forest fires, tsunami, landslides, some of the human and the natural forces which accelerate the process of extinction of these resources. The quality of forest may okay. One of the major concerns is the poaching will result in a sharp decline in the number of particular species. The animals are poached for collection and illegal trade of hide, skin, nail, teeth, horn, as well as feather. Some of these animals are the tiger, lion, elephant, deer, black buck, crocodile, rhinoceros, snow. Loss of the rainforest in Great Nicobar after tsunami. Snow, leopard, ostrich, and peacock. These can be observed by increasing awareness. National Park, Wildlife Sanctuary, Biosphere Reserve are made to protect our natural vegetation and wildlife. Conservation of creek, lake, and wetland is necessary to save the precious resource from depletion. Conservation of creek, national park, wildlife sanctuary, biosphere reserve are made to protect our natural vegetation and wildlife. Conservation of creek, lake, and wetland is necessary to save the precious resource from depletion. There is a balance in the environment in the relative number of species is not disturbed. Human activities in several parts of the world have disturbed. This is a black buck also needs protection. Disturb the natural. Okay, forest fire की बात कर रहे हैं. Forest fire is a threat to the entire region of the fauna and flora. It occurs mainly due to the region natural fire due to the lightning, the fire due to the heat generated in the litter due to the carelessness of the people. Well, the fire purposely caused by the local inhabitant mischief makers and the miscreant, etc. Some control measures. Prevention of fire through education. Prompt education of prevention of fire through education, prompt detection of fire through well-coordinated network of observation point, efficient ground patrolling and communication network. Communication network अच्छा है, patrolling अच्छी रखो, observation अच्छा रखो, coordination अच्छा रखो, prompt detection रखो. Okay, habitats are managed due to indiscriminate killing. Several birds and animals have become extinct or on the verge of the extinction. Awareness program like the social forestry and one also should be encouraged at the regional and the community level. School children should be encouraged to bird watch and visit the nature camps so that they appreciate the habitat of varied species. National park is a natural area designated to protect the ecological integrity of one or more ecosystem for the present and the future generation. Many countries have passed laws against the trade as well as killing of the birds and animals. In India, killing lion, tiger, deer, great Indian bustard, and peacock is lion, tiger, deer, great Indian bustard, and peacock is illegal. Killing all these animals is illegal. An international convention site has been established that lists the several species of animals and the bird in which trade is prohibited. Conservation of plants and the animal is an ethical duty of every citizen. Conservation of planet ethical duty. A herd of cheetal, a herd of elephant in Kaziranga National Park, Biosphere Reserve, series of the protected areas linked through a global network. Biosphere reserves is a series of protected areas linked through a global network intended to demonstrate the relation between the conservation and the development. Cites the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora. It is an international agreement between the government. It aims to ensure that international trade in specimens of wild animals and plants does not threaten their survival. Roughly 5,000 species of animal and 28,000 species of plant are protected. कितने 5,000 species of animal and 28,000 species of plant are protected. Bear, dolphins, cacti, corals, orchid, aloes are some example. 5,000 animal, 28,000 species of plant. Thank you so much.